What is up, guys? It is Rising Up here, rising up the ranks as always. I hope you guys enjoy this video as always. So I know I don't sound tired like in my last video. If I'm probably sound very energetic, I'm not. This is just my normal voice. But so again, check out my Discord server and my art Instagram. But I also have a Twitter for my art and also for YouTube. It's both of them. So it's technically called Rising Draws because I was using that. But yeah, other than that though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, let's get straight into this recap. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my last video. I probably did, but I moved. But let's get right into this video. Also, I keep saying let's get right into this video. But also, one last thing. What happened was, and why this video was one day late, is not anything special. I just forgot yesterday was the day I was supposed to record, and thought today was. It was nothing special. But other than that, though, let's get right into this recap. So in my last video, what I explained was, I would highly suggest checking out that 29-minute video instead of going for this recap, because obviously the recap kind of ties in, even though it's like, if you watch that one, it's a better explanation. Now, Naruto is part of a clan called the Jinchuuriki in the village, in a Henley village, but the village hidden in the beast was destroyed by every village in every land, not just the main village like this hidden stone, leaf, and all that. There's some other ones. And basically every village collaborated into destroying that village. And there's like one village, but there's always the side branches and the main branch. The main branch is the 9 tails. The side branches are all the other tails. There's no breeding between sub branches and the main branch and all that. There's no breeding. You have to stick within your clan, your branch. Now I'm done explaining that. Also, Naruto also ended up finding Kirin. Hidan, which I think currently has the 4 tails. Fu has the 7 tails. Haku, I think, has the bubble tails. I still can't remember his name. Or what toe he was. He had it. She has that. And also, I want to go over to revise some things. Kakazu is not dead. I believe I said he either had his body frozen or he had his body frozen and kicked to death. I don't know about all that. I ended up watching that video, but I still can't remember what I said. What ended up happening was Kakazu, they get Kakazu for a price if he just stays in the village and helps them out. He's a pseudo it. And so those who ended up leaving the clan. Now that the revisions and recap is over. Oh yeah, Sasuke also has the 8 tails of Killer Bee, and I do not think they killed the 4 tails, but I'm gonna say they did. Either a revision or just a recap. But other than that, let's get straight into where I left off at. So where I left off at was basically Hidan doing everything in the whole Orochimaru plan. So they are actually, and also the Akatsuki being attacked. So currently, the Akatsuki knows about the whole entire beast situation, and they completely disband. No one else wants to die, and they had already killed 3 members, which was Sasori, Deidara, and then let's just say there's actually not that many Akatsuki members I could remember. But let's say it was Kisame. Yes, let's go with Kisame. They also killed Kisame while Sasuke was trying to jump Itachi and Kisame. But let's say that happened. Unfortunately, Itachi got away. Well, not unfortunately, we know what happened, so all this shit Putin watched. But Itachi got away, Kisame died. After that, the Akatsuki disbanded, and basically Itachi tries to go back to the village, but this is where it comes up again. Naruto, Sasuke, and the whole entire the village hidden in the beast, or the beast village, I'm just calling him the beast for right now. The beast ended up cutting off Itachi, And basically, Naruto is wondering, Itachi, I can sense, nasty stuff like hatred and all that. And Itachi says, well, yeah. Says, I don't sense that on you. You're pure. Nothing, absolutely nothing is on you. Well, besides guilt, I can definitely feel that. So what is the guilt for? And Itachi tries to play it off and say the guilt of not killing Sasuke when I saw him. And Sasuke starts to run at run at Itachi, but Naruto quickly goes into his Eight Tails mode, and Sasuke is currently in his 4. By the way, I also thought I should mention that's version 2 that was talked about where they peel off their skin. That that isn't needed or nothing. I thought it was. But Naruto ends up grabbing Sasuke and just slams him down to the ground real quick. And he's in his position again, kind of stroking his chin. He doesn't have a beard. He just doing that. And he says, "No, that isn't it. Cause I definitely did not feel that guilt. It wasn't that type of guilt. Your guilt went up when you saw Sasuke the first time, and especially today. So it definitely isn't the fact that you wanted to kill him." And also, I also felt, you felt sorrow when you saw Sasuke. So tell me what it truly is. And Itachi ends up knowing that he can't really deceive Naruto because of all the tactics of feeling emotions and all that. And so Itachi explains the whole situation to both Sasuke and Naruto and the whole entire village. Sasuke says, "That's true." Naruto says, "You love the village, but we hate it, unfortunately, all of us. And especially me. They alienated me. They wanted to destroy me. Even the Hokage didn't treat me well. He called every villager his children. So what's going to happen is I'm going to destroy it no matter what. Either you could join me, or, he says, instead of me destroying it, you join me, you join my clan. That village is safe. The Sand Village is safe as well because we have Gara here. They're planning on basically taking over." And so what ended up happening is Tachi kind of just wants to protect the village, and he really did. He couldn't return anyway. So he says, "Yeah, sure." And Naruto explains the whole rundown and says, "You're going to be with Sasuke. You have a whole lot of catching up to do. And brotherly stuff I can't relate to. So you're going under the Eight Tails." And so they're under the Eight Tails. And Kakazu is also with the Four Tails. I thought I should mention that. But down the Eight Tails, Naruto says, we're still going to the village. We need to pick someone up. And they said who? They said, and Naruto says someone from the Inazuka clan. And Itachi's like, why? Naruto says, we're gonna taunt them. We're gonna taunt the hidden youth. Says, what do you mean? The Two Tails, you know him. You know that, right? He said, yeah, there's the fire captain. Says, yeah, we're adopting one of them to join over to our side. So we could basically flex our power and say we could take anyone at anytime we want to. I was originally planning to go after the whole entire clan, but I highly doubt the whole entire clan would go with me. And Itachi's like, yeah, that's definitely true. Some of them are very loyal to the village and not, just gonna throw it away in a second. So it says, we're gonna find the most alienated, lonely, depressed person there and give them hope. And basically take them back to home. We're gonna show them what it truly like to have friends. Naruto is not completely evil. He actually still has that soft spot that's already within him. And he knows that he doesn't want other people to feel what he has felt before, which is basically being alienated, gaslighted, and all that, and going through all the things. And so they find one. It's not Kiba. It's no one important. Just a random Inazuka member, which I'm actually call Shinny. Yes, I'm gonna call this character Shinny. And they actually earned that name from it's actually originated from the word Shinigami, which in Japanese means death god, soul reaper, basically like that. Basically, it's Gaara's backstory where his mother died in childbirth, but they gave him that name Shinny to show that everyone here around eventually dies. It's anything curse or anything. It's just usually like he goes around. He can smell death already, basically. So he just goes around to people that's about to die and tells them, because he has way more of a sense to know. But because of that, they kind of alienate him, give him the name Shinny, and completely don't want him. Naruto goes up to the boy and says, "Your clan hates you. Your village hates you. Do you want to join us? My village. We're all pretty much friends here. We don't. We all go through. We all went through the same thing. Sasuke here lost his parents. Itachi unfortunately betrayed by the village. Karen was actually captured by someone else. Nothing to do with this village, but and then he points to Gara and says he's the most similar case to you. His mother died during childbirth. Because Shinny already went through the whole explanation on why, like, you should stay away from me once they appeared. It says his mother also died from childbirth. They gave him a similar name, Gara, and he basically went through everything. But even his uncle that he thought loved him didn't, and basically, like, he resented him, even though that wasn't exactly true. But they all believed it at the time. So, seeing that, Shinny actually says, "Sure, why not? I might well join you. I don't have anything better as my whole entire clan," he seems to. And Naruto says also, "Then since the nose of yours is going to be a great use." He says, "What do you mean? I can smell death." Like, it says, "If you can smell death, then we'll prevent it." Tell me, is the smell lingering around here? It says, "No, I can't smell it at all." It says, well then, what about now? And Naruto starts flexing his power. And he says, Naruto and Shinny actually curses him and says, "The smell of death is basically taking over." And says, "That's my power. I could pretty much kill anyone here I wanted to, including the Hokage, so join me. And your village will be safe. Your clan, I don't know about that." Itachi interjects and said, remember the deal we made for me to be in this." Naruto says, "Never mind, Shinny. Your clan will also be safe. But we need one more member." And basically, I think I went through the 2 tails, 1 tails. I do not think about 3 tails. I'm actually going to go check that. I have currently not did the 4 tails. I know I did the 4 tails. I don't know about 5 tails. But they say we need someone for the 3 tails. You know who would be a perfect clan member for? And not the rest of it was like, who? They said the who. Oh my God, I can't right now. The Hyuga. And it said, why the Hyuga? Their style. Their style is built around chakra and basically taijutsu. Says that, 3 tails. It does shock damage. So their shot damage plus the taijutsu shutting down every chakra point pretty much means instant death, where anyone who comes across them will take one of them, or even more. We're just gonna slowly start trickling in. And those clans are eventually gonna kind of like merge with it. It'll be like 2 separate sets of it. Says, and Itachi says, "Naruto, how old are you?" Naruto says, 15. He said 15 or 16, I can't remember. Said, very smart thinking for a 15 to 16-year-old. Said, Naruto just takes a compliment coming from the person, like he was a genius. So Naruto kind of just says, thank you. And they all head out to Hyuga. They actually take Hanabi. Well, technically they take Hinata and then take Hanabi, because Hanabi wants to come with Hinata. It's a whole big thing. And then they also take Neji. Okay, so this is what happened. Naruto goes up to Hinata and says, "Been a long time, Hinata. The only person in this village to actually show some type of affection towards me." And Hinata is like blushing already because, she kind of has a crush on Naruto. It's been even through years and years. And Hinata says, "Naruto, you're finally back." Says, "Unfortunately, Hinata, I'm not. Well, you could come with me." Says, "You could come with me because I'm not staying here." And basically, Naruto breaks down the whole thing with his whole entire clan being destroyed and everything like that. So Hinata says, okay, I'll come with you. Hanami overhears, says, I want to come too. I want to make sure my sister's protected. And then Neji is already doing a Byakugan practice and see them, so he actually heads towards Naruto and says, what are you doing? And kind of greets him more like as a friend and an enemy, because they still went through that. Actually, did they go through that tuning exam? No, I don't think they went through that. Yeah, they didn't go through the tuning exams, but he greets him more as a friend and an enemy, reading all Hinata's stories about Naruto and how bad he was mistreated. Says, what are you doing here? And Naruto says, who are you? He says, I'm Neji, Hinata's cousin. They go through a whole breakdown in the backstory. Says, and Naruto explains what happened. And Neji says, well, I gotta make sure they're safe, so I'll come too. Says, good, 3 Hyuga members. And one is male, 2 of them are female, so I gotta get a different male soon. And Naruto kind of dips off with them. They go back to the village, hidden in the beast. And their village actually, even though they've been gone for a while, is actually patrolled. Because what they can do is even animals could kind of get granted the power. So if they like infuse an animal with part of that ability, like let's just say a fox gets infused with the nine-tailed fox ability, it pretty much becomes a bigger form, more power. Sorry, Robert. More powerful form of itself, and also gains the abilities of the nine tails or the 4 tails or whatever it is. So you actually have tigers, foxes, as well as coyotes and like stuff around that area is patrolling the village, and anyone that even gets close to it is killed, unfortunately. Even if they don't know that is the sense of that village. So what what Naruto does is basically takes them back. They split them up and says, Shin, you go over to that shrine over there. That's the 2-tailed shrine. Pray. It'll connect to you. It says, Hinata, you're to the 3 tails right next to him. So are you, Neji and Hinabi. Neji, you will be the second command. Hinabi, you would just be granted the power. And so they go, all 4 of them go to their separate ones. And Hinata is by the way, they already, kind of like killed the 3 tails leader. Even though they didn't have no one to replace him, they're just kind of going through and killing all of them because the rest of them are very loyal to their village. Besides the 6 tails, they have not found, and they also know it's a Ronin, so they're actually on high alert for him. So they pray to it. Hinata gets the main ability and says, Hinata, I'm rebuilding my clan, so I know you have a crush on me, you kind of can't like be a thing. Hinata says, no. Like she just flat out refuses after hearing that, and she didn't officially accept the title. She wanted to see something real quick, which was exactly this, and says, well, I'm not going to accept that. I want to be with you. So Naruto's like, okay, whatever. You could become under the 9 tails. Says Naruto. And she actually, Kirin is still the second command, but she gains 9 tails power. So she goes up to 7 tails. So like she's very powerful on her own already. Plus like the whole thing that goes on, you'll see what I mean, on the later parts. So she becomes like basically a regular member, because she's actually more exceptional than other members. Naruto actually specifically asked for that. Other members, they could go up to like 6. At most, they could go up to like 7, like Hinata. But Hinata could easily go up to 7 without much training on how to utilize the 9 tails power. So Neji actually becomes the leader, and pretty much right now what's happening is there's one female leader, Fu, which is currently the 7 tails, and then the rest of them are male leaders. No one really wants to join with Gara right now, and I feel so bad for him. He's basically by himself. So, and Naruto kind of comments on this, says, I guess no one wants to be the 1 tail, so Gara says, shut up. And it says, and then Naruto goes on more serious note and says, pick 2 people you want to join you. So he's trying to be fair. He knows Gara has 2 siblings, And Gaara says, you already know the two people I want that you said I couldn't have. Yes, I know your siblings. Go get them. And Gaara flies off. He comes back like 2 days afterwards. And he actually gets his siblings on board. Tamari is actually the second command because her fan actually really helps her with that sand thing. Like she could pretty much just drop sand everywhere, disperse it, and then use it again. Just like she's actually a whole lot more useful. And then Kankuro kind of is like the third command. His puppets can also control sand, so they do whatever. So after that, Naruto is kind of just going around. He trying to find the Six Tails. The Six Tails they unfortunately could not find, so they said, "Well, it's time to launch an operation." He says, "What do you mean? There's no one really coming after them like that." It says, "The land of waves. We're making that our home. We're making that kind of like a second home base, like a place where we can control." It says, "Wouldn't it be better to, as they already have a fully built village right at this point." Wouldn't it be better to, take over ones that have like trading routes and all that? Like they could trade with said the land of ways, I'm doing this for a specific reason. Says what? And it says what? You need them. They don't have ninja per se, but what they do have is more valuable. Says, and what is that? And Naruto said, Itachi says, what is that? It says, they don't say Zabuza, but it says the sword of Zabuza. As they already went through that emotional arc and all that, and Zabuza, actually gets to, live long enough to kill Oda, and Kakashi has respect for him and puts his sword in whatever places. The sword of Zabuza, the three swords of the hidden mist. Well, there's six. I think there's like 7 swordsmen. Said one of the 7 swords of the hidden mist. Says, who gonna be using it like that though? And Itachi says, I definitely can't touch it. I already. And so what ends up happening is Itachi actually has Kisama's blade. That's out of respect because they were genuinely friends, and the blade likes him enough because of his chakra. And so Naruto says, "Well, I'll utilize Zabuza's sword." And Naruto goes to it, and like this is like a whole month afterwards. Pick it up and trains with it. This is like a whole month afterwards. Not really much happens, but they're starting to make themselves more known, and they actually get a request. This is a S rank. This is an S rank quest thing, S rank mission. But each of them are S rank ninja, like easily. So Naruto actually says, "We're all heading now." And this mission is to kill the current Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. Itachi protests this, saying it breaches the code. And Naruto says, "Jobs are jobs. 1, 2, it doesn't. I just said I wouldn't destroy anyone clan or the Hidden Leaf Village at all. But I never said not killing any ninja from there." It says, if you kill them, you could go to war for this, and then you would end up destroying it. It says, relax, I won't get caught. And Naruto, like, they all head out, and they're pretty, since Naruto knows it has a barrier, they just, like, kind of, like, slip inside with Itachi's help. And then they kill Hiruzen. Naruto actually wakes him up and says, remember me? Hiruzen goes to stand up, but, Kirin uses her chain and completely straps him down to the bed. Hinata says, you were so rude to Naruto. I guess it came back to bite you. Says, and Hiruzen speaks very ill of Naruto, like not usually very unusual for him. Says, you little brat, you and every part of your clan, rather it's the One Tails. And Gaara kind of flinches at him, says, what, you're gonna be scared of me? And Hiruzen kind of like jumps backwards. Well, he flinches back. And Naruto says, so you're scared of us. That's why you hate us so much. You're scared. And Naruto says, well, unfortunately, this is just business. And he cuts off Hiruzen's head. They kind of need to show proof that Hiruzen is dead. So the head is like probably like the best idea, even though it would already be very widely known that a Hokage is dead. That a Kage, I should say, is dead. But Naruto cuts off his head, grabs his head, and dips out. And he doesn't even let anyone know that he's been in the village. No one can track him. No one can do nothing. No traces of anyone being inside the village. You know, it's definitely assassination. So they actually think it's the Orochimaru who, before that, um, tried to kill him, but failed. So they think they pin all the blame on Orochimaru. They start hunting him, and Naruto goes up to Kakashi and says, "Hey, Kakashi Sensei," and Kakashi only like met him for like a very brief period. It's like that 1 month in between. In between that land a ways in like the first part, in like the first mission they did, Naruto. And Kakashi's like, don't ever call me that again. And Sasuke Pierce says, hey Kakashi Sensei, I'm also here. And Itachi Pierce says, what's up Kakashi? And says, so basically the Uchiha. Then Hinata appears. So that's a Hyuga. And then Shinny appears, so that's a Inuzuka. So he realizes that they're very heavily, Leaf and a Beast could very easily form an alliance because they definitely have members of each clan. He says, go tell your village, become Hokage, and form an alliance with us. Itachi here wants that. I personally don't, to form an alliance with that filthy village, but it would benefit us a whole lot still. And so Kakashi kind of like, I'm not gonna become Hokage, but I will influence the leaders into becoming allies with you. And that was exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens. Kakashi goes to the hierarchy, which is actually above, the elders are actually above that, and all of that. And he convinces them to form an alliance. So instead of pretty much having a repeat, which Naruto knows exactly what's going to happen. So they can't do a repeat. And Naruto's going to very be much on high guard with every village, no matter what. No matter how friendly you are with them. So it says, basically, we can either be destroyed by them. Kakashi says, they have enough power. They have tailed beasts on their side, and they already grew rapidly. They have about, hold up, give me a second. 6, 8, 9. They have 11 members already. I have to quickly do math real quick. They already have 11 minutes. They have already 11 members. I really do not think we want to fight them. They each have tailed beasts. They have most tailed beasts on their side. And each leader can easily destroy this entire village. A leader can do that, not the whole entire 11 members. And they're kind of persuaded, like, okay, yeah, it's probably the best idea to do that. And so is the Sand. They actually, or maybe after go to the Sand and start trying to form alliance with them. And they also realize that, like, one, they had the Kazekage's son, so, like, that's always a thing. And they have the actual tailed beast. So what ends up happening is between the negotiations with the Sand and Leaf, the Sand says, Minigara. Naruto says, no, we give it a clone to Gaara, and that's about it. And they kind of just agree. Because Naruto says you can either get a clone or you can get destroyed by a clone. Pick your choice. And so they pick their choice very easily. And so that clone of Gaara officially becomes the leader. Gaara stays inside the village. All goes in well. And the Leaf is currently with allies with them. So they're very widely known for being allies at this point, like all three of them. And they kind of form like a beast triad of alliances, and they could very easily tell the alliance are mainly brute force. So not every village trying to come to Naruto trying to form an alliance. So I'm gonna say that Grass Village actually goes to Naruto and Naruto says, "You're a small village. Did you participate in an attack on my village?" Grass Village Junior says, "No, we did not. We refused. Our ninja who eventually founded us refused. We wasn't even around that time." Naruto says, "That's great to hear. You could join the alliance." So it's like a quad alliance with a small half. It's like a really small half, but it's still a half. They on the fourth thread, this is the grass. So there's the grass, the leaf, the beast, and then the sand. But other than that, though, I'll be leaving it off here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. Again, check out my Discord server, Instagram, Twitter, and all of that. Other than that, though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always, because I enjoyed making these videos. I'll see you guys in 2 days, and it is Rising This logging off. Also, kind of mad I made this video so long.